Let me start this by saying what the question wouldn't be, right? And I think we're seeing so much of this out there in the market these days, especially as things are gravitating more and more towards security based conversations, that so many partners, so many vendors, so many suppliers, so many other agents are really trying to come at this from a place of FUD, right? Fear, uncertainty, and doubt, right? They're trying to kind of sow some of the seeds of discord out there to make people very alarmed, very paranoid, very concerned about the health, the safety, the integrity of their network. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that people shouldn't be those things, but from a sales perspective, prior to being on the cloud side of this, I was on the corporate IT side, right? So I was making a lot of those decisions and receiving a lot of those cold calls, receiving a lot of those, having a lot of those conversations with my own partners and suppliers. And I can tell you, when I was in that position, nothing bothered me more than folks who took that, what's keeping you up at night approach to trying to sell into my organization, right? Because first off, I'm not going to tell you that, right? I'm probably not comfortable answering that question for myself, let alone sharing that information with an outsider. And secondly, to me, right, that then becomes a larger conversation about human nature and psychology, right? Because what I found being on the opposite side now, where I'm the one asking the questions, is folks tend to be much more willing to open up when they can do so in a positive light versus a negative one. So I love to ask the question of, you know, really, really simply put, how has the way that you've provided IT to your organization changed since 2020? Right. And what that allows us to do is, it opens people up because it lets them tell the story in a positive light. Everyone, in my opinion, loves to be the hero of their own story, right? We're all the main character of our own lives. And it lets folks talk about the successes that they've had with the changing nature of IT due to things like hybridization, right? A mobile workforce, sending people home, working remotely, engaging with things like unified communications, contact center, and collaboration, with all of the changes in technology in the last few years. So by asking that question, right, they're very then likely to tell you of all the things that they've done successfully, and usually that then leads into the things that were challenging, right, the things that were more difficult, maybe the areas that didn't go off without a hitch. And as folks who understand what technology options are out there, what solutions are available to us, and what tools are in the toolbox that we have, that then enables us to listen for the things that aren't there. Right? If someone talks about like, oh yeah, the way we did everything changed because once 2020 happened, we had to go out and buy everyone, new devices and Chromebooks, and we sent them all home and VPN, and it was hard, but we got there. Okay, so now the follow-up question is, well, are you guys still working that way today, right? What have you done since then? But again, I just feel like it gives everyone an opportunity to really kind of talk through the fundamentals of the way that they're providing technology solutions in their organizations, and more specifically, the way that those technology solutions have changed in the 3 years since. So for me, again, in a lot of these discovery conversations, if we don't have information going in, that's always a great first question because it's a softball that just gets people talking, gets them to open up, and usually results in them sharing a lot of information about ways that we can further help them.